Good evening. How is everyone? I'm loving this weather so far this weekend. We've had a warm day yesterday. It was extremely windy, but it was warm and beautiful. And today it's like 80 plus maybe. I'm loving this weather. I hope you are too. I want to thank everyone for joining me here on the Voices of Change. For tonight's show, I have a special guest, Cinda Williams. I've been following her for a long time. She is talented, gifted, beautiful, and continues to reinvent herself. She's an actress, vocalist, producer, radio host, blogger, and writer. I want you to put your questions in the chat box, and I will try to have her address some of your questions. And at this point, right before I bring her on, I want you to share, because this is going to be a great show. I always start my show off with a scripture. For today, it's from Philippians chapter 4, verses 12 through 13. And it goes, I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all things through him who gives me strength. A shout out to my partners, GV Entertainment out of Chicago, Gray Tech Services, and Oda Enterprises out of Indianapolis. I want to get this show started very, very, very early because I know you're going to have a lot of questions for. I have a lot of questions for. So I'm going to bring her on, and then I'm going to read you her bio. So we're going to bring her on right now. And there she is, waiting for my comments. Hello, everyone. Hi, Makiba, EJ, Renee, and Romaine. This is Cinda Williams. Hello, Cinda. How are you?
I am so great. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much for being here. Oh my gosh, I'm just so excited. We have a mutual friend, and he told me that he knew you a couple years ago. And I said, well, can I just meet her? I mean, and there was some event where you were going to sing or something. I don't know. Something happened. I didn't get a chance to meet you, but I'm so glad I got a chance to meet you. Now, I know you probably feel like you're talking to a groupie. Sorry. Okay. Oh. I am going to read your bio, and some of this I kind of put together. So anytime during the bio, if there's something that's not exactly right, let me know. You can stop me right there.
Okay.
Cinda Williams was born on May 17th, so she has a birthday in 2 weeks. Born in Chicago, Illinois, she is an actress and producer known for One False Move, Mo Better Blues, and Tales of the City. She is also a phenomenal singer. She has one child. And for all my friends and family watching from Indiana, because that's originally where I'm from, Cinda graduated from Ball State in Muncie.
Sure.
Yeah. Cinda also have acting credits for The Wedding, where she played Haley Berry's sister, and was also in the movie Introducing Dorothy Dandridge, to name a few. According to sources, and she'll correct me, she has over 50 acting credits under her belt. She's not only an actress, but provided vocals in Mo Better Blues, the movie and video, and she is currently working on a vocal project. Cinda is also, she's also a writer with a newly released book, a radio host, and a blogger. Help me welcome to the Voices of Change on Intellectual Radio, Cinda Williams. Oh gosh, I'm just so excited.
I have one correction.
Okay, go ahead.
I used to be a blogger, and now I'm a podcaster.
Oh.
Yes, I used to be a blogger. That's kind of where my book stemmed from.
Okay.
And I got so busy writing. I also write screenplays, so I got so busy doing that, and that's kind of like my day job. So it was just too much for me to keep on blogging. So I stopped blogging, but I do a podcast, which I do write. Okay. Some of it's ad-libbed, but most of it's kind of structured because it's a structured show. And the same, it's a PPC, the PPC podcast. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about, just give us a little hint. What is PPC? What's that an acronym for?
Well, it originally was Pink Panty Confessions.
Oops. Okay.
Yeah, which caused me a lot of problems. It was great on one hand because it was very intriguing to people,
Mhm.
but it was difficult on the other hand because I have a lot of male fans, and they assumed that it had to do with my underwear, and it had nothing. Oh my gosh! You know what? I lost you. I have to find you. I'm sorry.
That's all right. You just kind of flipped, but we can see.
There you go. Okay. Something came up on my screen. I put on a do not disturb. I don't know why that's still there.
It's okay.
But yeah, so I had to change it because a friend of mine said, "Girl, she said, either you got perverts or prudes, one or the other, and you won't have problems either way. So you got to change that." So
So you change it from pink panties to
just
PPC.
PPC, and actually, because of the nature of what it's really about, it's about venting, it's about talking, it's about conversations, confessions. So it's powerful personal conversations is the new words now. But
Okay. Oh, that cleaned it up really well.
yeah, I had to clean it up.
I like the little mystery behind that PPC, but okay.
Yeah, I still have the series that I wrote, and that's going to keep the name. And the book was Pink Panty Confessions, that keeps the name. But doing broadcasting, I had to.
And what was the book about? I'm just curious.
It's memoirs.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
it's a self-help memoir.
Oh.
You know, yeah. I actually went back to school. I am licensed, although I don't practice, a licensed hypnotherapist.
A license. I'm sorry.
Hypnotherapist.
I'm not sure what that is. What is that?
It's a person that helps people with their vocational, avocational issues,
Oh.
using hypnosis as a tool. But it's also therapeutic. We're therapeutic in our approach, but it's not a medical. It is through hypnosis and just helping people with things like, do you have fear when you get on the stage? Do you stutter? Do you want to quit smoking? Changing habits using hypnosis. Yeah,
That's interesting. Because I think everybody has something that they have fear of, or that they don't do well, or they just, that could help a lot of people. Even losing weight. You can say, well, maybe if your habits would change and hypnotize you, or I don't know.
It helps with that. It helps, and people are very. Hypnosis is nothing like what so many people believe it is. They think it's, you cluck like a chicken and stuff like that. And it's really, you are hypersensitive when you're in hypnosis. And everybody's in hypnosis at one point or another anyway, especially like right before you go to sleep. Your senses are very, very aware. You can hear everything louder. You can smell everything more, see whatever, if you're lying there fully awake, things are very noticeable to you. That is in hypnosis.
And I think people fear that because if you have me under, then you can make me cluck like a chicken. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. But you're not. You're super aware. You're not unaware. So
you're not going to do any of those crazy things.
No, you can't do any of those. A person will only do what they want to do. They can't force you to do anything. They can't tell you to do anything. That was all a show.
Oh.
That was a show.
Didn't know that. I'm going to start with my first question. And you know where I'm going back. My first introduction to Cinda Williams was in, of course, Mo Better Blues.
Right.
What a way to start a career. First of all, was that your first gig? Secondly, how was it on the set with Denzel, Wesley, and Spike Lee?
Well, it was my first movie. I moved to New York City with the intention of Broadway. That's why I moved to New York. I had no intention or thought of doing movies. That wasn't my training. I didn't watch movies. I hardly watched television. I was a trained actor. I went to Ball State in a theater department. And I had to choose between music and acting. And my vocal coach was like, well, if you wanna be a performer, then you should do drum. If you want to be a teacher for music, then do music. So yeah, I never thought I'd do a movie. But when I moved to New York City, I got, within a couple of months, I got my first off-Broadway musical.
Mhm.
And I was working at a restaurant. And all these people, I was a hostess, so all these people were coming in and saying, oh my gosh, are you going in for Spike Lee's new movie? And I was like, I knew of him. You know, I was in college when She's Gotta Have It came out, and School Days came out. So I was very interested in those movies, especially School Days, because, you know, the light skin, dark skin, all that mess, stuff I had dealt with my whole life. So it was very interesting to me. But I never intended to do a movie, but so many people said that I should. They were like, it's you. You're a singer. You said it needs to be a singer and an actress. You're an actress. You should do it. So I did. I went and I found out where the auditions were, and I just went there, and I was like, here I am. And I just showed up. I didn't know the process. I had no idea how to do anything. I was totally ignorant. I mean, literally, I just graduated from Ball State and came out to New York, and I was like, you know, it says here the casting offices are here, so I'm gonna go here. And long story short, it was a casting office, so there were a bunch of different people casting for different things.
Mhm.
And I sat there from 8 o'clock in the morning, and I think till 11 o'clock. And the casting director wasn't there, and all these other people kept saying, what are you here for, blah blah. I was like, I'm auditioning. I want to meet the casting director for a Love Supreme, because that's what it was called.
Mhm.
And they're like, do you need anything? I was like, no, I'm fine. I got my water, got my books. And they were so impressed by the fact that I didn't have an attitude or anything. So when Robbie came in, they were like, you got to give this girl a shot. She's been sitting here for hours waiting and is cool, you know, that Midwestern thing, you know. And so she did. Robbie gave me an opportunity to audition for her. She says, you know, there were no auditions today. Tomorrow we're having a cattle call.
Oh,
But since you're here and everybody keeps telling me to give you a chance, I'm gonna give you a chance. So she gave me sides, and she asked me to sing. And that was the beginning of, I thought all these years, I thought that I had 6 auditions. I know it was 6 weeks. But I thought it was 6 auditions. Turns out someone sent me recently an old interview of me that I did right before the movie came out. And
mhm.
I said in the interview that I had 4 auditions. I was like, oh, okay. I thought it was 6. So now I can say it correctly. I had 4 auditions. The first was with Robbie, the second was with Spike, the third was with Wesley, and then the final was with Denzel. So yep, I got it. And now working on the set, it was such a blast for so many people, because it was just a fun group of people. But
Mhm.
a lot of them were very method, meaning, you know what method means.
Mhm.
Just in case you don't know, method means your character becomes you. You, for however long you're doing that project, you do everything like the character, you act like the character, you do everything. Well, I'm not a method actor. You know, you call cut, I'm done, right?
You don't
I
live
play,
it, breathe it, huh?
yeah, I don't have, that's not my method. I don't have to become the person in my real life. So I'm not a method actor, so I don't really fit into that whole thing. And plus, the guys were kind of with the guys, and Joie and I only were in that one scene together, so we weren't ever really there. So it's kind of like a guy's environment. So
Okay.
I did a lot of observing and watching and learning. You know, I had a lot of fun. I learned about my hair, because it's so funny. My mom's white, and we grew up with the black side of my family primarily. And no one knew how to do my hair. So I didn't know how to do my hair. My hair was a mess. So when I met the guy that ended up doing the hair for the movie, it took him, I think he said 2 weeks of consistently washing my hair to get all the baby oil out of it. He's like, girl, you are destroying your hair. I was like, I don't know. I didn't know. So learning about that kind of stuff was so much fun. I learned about my hair and how to do it, and makeup and fancy clothes, and because I'm not a fancy girl. I still am not a fancy girl. People are very disappointed by that, but I am not Clark Undercourt in any way. Okay, Cindy Cinda, and is not Clark. And so it was a brand new world for me. It was fun.
Wow.
Although I've done pageants, so I had worn a fancy dress before, but it was a new world.
Because you had a lot of fancy ones in Mo Better Blues. You had a lot.
I had some beautiful clothes in that.
You did. That was speaking
Ruth
of
Carter.
Huh?
Ruth Carter. Ruthie Carter.
Okay.
That
was a wardrobe
designer. She's won Oscars since. She's amazing.
Wow. Now I'm going to sneak for those of you that may not remember how she sounded in that song. I'm just going to play like 10 seconds of it. That's it. That's it. So please don't talk about acting crazy because I'm playing it.
You can never tell what's in a man's mind. And if he's from Harlem, there's no use of even trying.
It's really hard to just play 10 seconds.
Just like the tide, his mind comes and goes.
Okay, I'll turn it off.
Like much weather when he'll change. Nobody knows, nobody knows.
Isn't that beautiful? Even hearing it now, isn't that beautiful? Oh.
It's really funny because I was a baby. I was so young and I hadn't found my voice yet. I'd been singing my entire life. I'd been singing my entire life, but I was very shy, very quiet. I hadn't found my voice yet. I could sing a piano, you know what I'm saying? A very, very wide range. But I was very soft-spoken, everything was high and everything was soft, And I was a soprano 1, and I did soprano 1 in that song. But I don't sound anything like that anymore. I mean, I can sound like that if and mimic myself, but because I've grown up,
yeah.
And I found my voice, my singing voice, and my speaking voice. I am completely. That same interview I was talking about, I was so shy. I could barely look at the woman. I was like looking up at her, and I was such a shy person. And my voice, my vocals, when I sing that song today, which of course, whenever I sing, they request it.
You want you to sing it, yeah.
Yeah, I sing it and I try to stick to the melody for their sake. But what I do with that song is so different because, first of all, I'm grown now, so I know what it means. You know what I mean? I was truly not playing myself in that character. I was very inexperienced with sex. I was very inexperienced with I was a church girl. So I was singing about stuff I didn't understand, but now I get that song, you know what I'm saying? And it comes from my gut, not from my throat. It comes from the real,
You convince people though. I mean, because hearing you sing it, it was just I thought it was so beautiful.
It's a beautiful song. Raymond Jones. It was written by W.C. Handy originally in an early, turn of the century song.
W.C. Handy.
W.C. Handy wrote that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but Raymond Jones came in and he changed the melody. He changed the music. So the lyrics were exactly the same as W.C. Handy wrote it, but Raymond Jones redid the melody and the music so it will be current.
Okay,
he did a beautiful job. Yeah, I'm so sad because I wanted to do another song, at least one more with him, and he passed away. But he was amazing. Mm.
I'm going to read some of these comments, just a few of them. Hello, Makiba, people from Indianapolis, of course. What does chirp chirp mean? Chirp chirp? BSU, chirp chirp. Something with Ball State. I don't have a clue.
Oh,
Hello,
they're
beautiful lady.
Cardinals, maybe. They're
Oh,
Cardinals.
Cardinals, chirp.
Maybe.
Carolyn, hey, thanks for tuning in. Pam, hey, Pam, thanks for tuning in. Jerome, thanks for tuning in. Don't be shy, you guys. Send some messages. If you want to, you can send a question. I can't promise I'll be able to ask, but I will try. Now for my next question, and you kind of addressed it. A big part of that character was your vocals.
Mhm.
How long had you been singing? You said that you went to Ball State for theater, which I didn't know. That's interesting, because I was going to ask you about theater too. Something told me you had a theatrical background. But anyway, how long had you been singing?
I've been singing, I sang first. That was my original, the gift that introduced me to this world. When I was a child, my uncle was a professional singer and he lived with us. So I used to go down in his space, and he started teaching me how to sing as early as 5. I was learning how to sing.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I was deep into church. So when I would come to Indiana, my grandfather's church was in Indiana, so I would sing with them in the
I saw that smile.
in the gospel choir. Hey,
Okay.
and in the gospel choir, and then in Chicago, we went to a Presbyterian church, which was classical music.
Yeah, I was
So
looking.
that's where I started learning how to read music and everything. So I sang first. And it wasn't until high school, I did a little bit of acting younger, but in high school when I really started acting a lot more. And I had this wonderful music teacher in Chicago that we would do Mikado. We did the Mikado in 8th grade, the Mikado.
In 8th grade?
8th grade, yes. That's how we were really good. Our choirs won every competition. We were really good. And so she started having us do these shows, and it was great, and it was just a natural progression. Honestly, I never thought I would end up doing as much acting as I did. I mean, I literally got way far away from singing. I always thought I would be a singer first, actor second, and it switched as I became an adult. So
And when I was talking to you, I was asking you because I hadn't heard any projects out, and I was wondering. I loved your vocals, and you do a lot of acting, obviously. And did you throw away the vocals? And I was so glad you told me that you did. That you're still singing. You're still singing.
That never stopped. I just when I did Mo Better Blues, or after that, I had options. At the time they weren't doing. You couldn't do a lot of both. It very soon after that. They started using a lot of singers and stuff. But when I started, it wasn't that way. And it was kind of like, okay, here are 2 doors. Which one are you going to walk through? And I had a record deal for a little while, and things just didn't work out. Things didn't work out with the producer I was dealing with. There were some personal issues, to be honest, some Me Too stuff. And it just didn't work out. And I really preferred the anonymity of the acting. I could disappear into characters, and I could still sing on my own. So I did. I sang with bands. I've been in bands my whole life. Okay. And I sang live all the time. One of my issues with Mo Better is a lot of people confuse me with her. I never sang jazz. I didn't even know jazz before I did that movie. I had never listened to jazz music before I did that movie. I listened to gospel. I listened to musicals. I listened to pop and all of that. Some R&B, but no jazz until I did that movie. So after the movie, everybody wanted me to be Clark, and people still call me Clark. And that was the kind of music everybody wanted me to sing, is jazz. It's like, that's not my style. I don't sing that. I tell more stories. I love jazz, and I had to start singing it live because that's what people wanted, and I fought it for a long time. I fought it, but okay. I do sing jazz now.
Okay. Do you still sing gospel?
I'm sorry?
Do you still sing gospel at all?
Gospel? I haven't sung classical in years. I trained with classical. I sang classical for about 9 years. I could, my vocal coach told me you can choose. You can be an opera singer if you want. That I was that trained, but I never wanted to do that. I wanted to sing music that I felt could really touch people now, beyond the vocals. For me, the pleasure that I get is the storytelling in the songs. That's what I love to do, to move people with the words and the interpretation of the notes, and it's not just about how pretty it sounds.
Sure.
So, mhm.
Do you ever do gospel still? Do you ever do gospel at all?
No, not as much. I mean, on my own, I sing gospel every day.
No, I mean,
I listen to gospel every day, and I have, like, my uncle has a church, and they'll ask me to, do some songs for them. So I'll do it that way. But I just moved where I am, and so I haven't found a church yet. And right after I moved here, COVID hit. So I haven't found a church. I was really actually craving singing in choir again.
choir?
In a choir. I love singing with people. I don't mind singing solos, but I prefer groups.
Okay.
I love that.
Okay. You've already answered that. And you've answered about theater. Tell me about your theater background. I thought that was interesting.
Well, like I said, I thought I was primarily a singer. So most of the stuff I did was musical theater. Did a lot of musical theater. I need to look up an old resume of mine because I did so many shows. I literally, for about 7 years straight, was in a show nonstop. When I started in high school, all the way through college, show to show to show to show to show to show to show, never stopped. And because, I was pretty good, the faculty made sure that they were doing things that they felt was appropriate for me, or they would cast me in shows that other people were very angry about. She's Black, how come she's playing that part? Stuff like that. So I did a lot. I did Oliver, I did a West Side Story, I did Evita. That was
the standards. Okay.
Yeah. So I did, and then when I moved to New York, the one show that I did was called 2 by 2. It was a musical about Noah and his family, and so I did that. I did what was this show called? Rent. I got Rent, but by the time that happened, I was already doing movies, and I was making so much more money that it was like literally to do the show for 2 years on Broadway. I made that much money in 10 weeks on a movie.
I thought Broadway paid much. I mean, okay, wow.
Yeah, it does, but depending on what the quote is, and there was no conversation. I was like, do I have to do it for 2 whole years? And they're like, yeah, you got to sign a contract for 2 years. And I just had a feeling that it would kill my voice, that the role I was playing, Janice, I think.
Because you're doing it every day or however long the run is?
8 shows a week.
Oh,
yeah, 8 shows a week, and it's like super strong. And I'd heard later from other people that almost all the women that play that role had major issues vocally.
Yeah, with their vocal. Oh,
yeah, it's hard doing 8 shows a week. I've done it before. I've done, like I did a show in Chicago and LA, 8 shows a week, but they were never 2 years. It might be 3-4 months at most, and that was all theater. I didn't sing in those. Wow. Yeah. So I missed that dream of Broadway. You never know. Maybe someday it'll happen, but I'm not stressing it.
I would. A 2-year contract is pretty long.
It's a long 2 years. 2 years is a long time.
That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
How many films have you performed in up to this point?
I don't even know. I haven't counted them, but I know it's over 50.
Wow. That's what I thought. Okay.
Mhm.
What were some of your favorite ones? Oh, that may be partial to because you may need to use these people again. What were some of the ones that you really enjoyed doing?
Well, I had a few bad experiences, but majority of experiences I had were great. Some of my and it's funny because some of my best experiences, as in I had so much fun doing it, they weren't the best movies, and some of the really good ones
Were bad experiences.
weren't fun. Yeah, they just weren't fun. But some like One False Move is a really great film, really amazing script. Carl Franklin, awesome director. I had a lot of fun on Caught Up. That one's not my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not my favorite movie, but a lot of people love it.
Mhm.
A lot of people, it's their favorite movie. I'm like, really? But I loved the experience. The writer director was awesome. He really was. He treated me like a queen, and I hadn't been always treated like that. So I enjoyed that. I did a multiple movies with a company called Sneak Preview out of Los Angeles, and every one of those was a blast. One of them was called Relax It's Just Sex. That was the first one I did with them. Yeah, it's as risque as it sounds, and it's really good. Uh, and I loved doing it, and I loved the stuff with Hallie too. I had a really good time, especially on Dorothy Dandridge more than the
How was
wedding.
it working with her? I'm just curious.
She was very sweet. She was a very sweet thing. She's very serious, especially with Dorothy Dandridge because she produced that. So she wasn't playing, you know what I mean?
I love that one too. Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, she did a good job.
Mhm.
She was just acting on the wedding, but she has fun. She's a nice girl. She's a nice girl. Mm-hmm.
Good. You always kind of wonder about these people.
Mhm.
Okay. How different is it to act in a movie versus a theater, other than the long runs and the eight
Well,
times?
with theater, it's an immediate satisfaction. If something goes wrong, you have to deal with it in real time in front of people. You got to save yourself, and it's there's a high to that experience, to having to be on. And if something goes wrong, and I have been in stuff where things go wrong, and it's very exciting to do theater. Whereas with movies, it can be boring, okay? Because literally are sitting around for hours waiting to shoot a page, and depending on the film and the budget, you could be sitting there for days for just a few pages, But if it's a nice budget movie, then you're going to get paid for that time.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't wait for other people to entertain me. I always have stuff that I'm doing. If I'm not writing, I'm reading, or I'm, supporting someone else's stuff, or, I do other things. I don't, when I do a movie, I'm never bored because I make sure I bring things with me, not to mention making sure that, my lines are right. Because oftentimes you don't know till you get on set what your lines are going to be because they change so often. Yeah, that's a difference. That's a big difference with theater, especially if it's main what's it called? Theater, not gospel theater. Gospel theaters, there's a lot of ad-libbing and all of that.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a classic theater piece,
it's a script and you go by that script.
You got to know every single word. They will fine you if you get a wrong or the wrong. They'll fine you. Yes. You can't get words wrong. Whereas in movies, half the time, you don't get the lines till you get to the set.
That's horrible.
Yeah. So, you have to be really on your feet. You got to be prepared, Usually I'm sitting there going through all the new lines I just received that morning.
Jeez. That puts a lot of pressure on you. But I think theater puts, even though it's exciting and it's instant satisfaction, aren't you a little more nervous during theater because it's live? So you can't like, okay, take one, take you. It's you're there. It's live. They got
It's a different kind of nervousness for sure. I mean, because like I said, anything could happen.
Yeah.
But I love it because it's so immediate and you never know how the audience is going to respond. I did this wonderful play 2 different times with Felicia Rashad. She directed. It's called Immediate Family. I'm not remembering his Paul something with the guy who wrote it, original from Chicago. Anyway, it was a great play. And things happen all the time, unexpected things happen and the audience responded. It was a dramedy. So sometimes every other performance, the audience cracked up, but this one day, and then you got to figure out how to find your rhythm because you were expecting a laugh that didn't come, stuff like that. Or, we were playing a bid whist game and things got all messed up and we're trying to figure out where we are and, all that kind of stuff. So, theater is exciting because of the anxiety, the performance anxiety, and you never know. One time when we were doing a play in Chicago at the Goodman, and this lady literally put her purse on our set. I guess she didn't want it around her feet, so she put it up on the stage where we were supposed to be walking and talking and living this world. She has broken into our environment by putting her bag on the stage. It's like crazy.
Did the stagehands just kind of take
they eventually had to, they snuck up and was like, you gotta get this off of the stage, Or if you got like a certain kind of show, shoot, you'll have an audience screaming and yelling at you, talking and depending on the show.
Yeah.
Then you got to deal with that. You got to be so into what you're doing that can't distract you. And
because it will when they say something to you and you're on stage. Wow.
No, she did.
You want to laugh?
They'll start yelling at you, cussing you out because they don't like what you did or what you said.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's true. That's funny. That's true. This is about the vocalist again because I'm into that kind of. When are you going to do something again in Chicago? And I know you may not know. You may not even know at this point.
Actually, Chicago is really. I'm not trying to diss my city because I'm from Chicago.
No, I'm not going to hear this from you, though.
Yeah, but Chicago doesn't treat its artists very well. It just doesn't. They don't want to pay you. They don't want to pay you on time. They don't want to do the marketing it takes to get an audience there. They want you to do all the work. It's hard to do Chicago unless you're a big star. If you're a big star, then yeah, they'll get you. Not. If
they want you to do it free.
Yeah, they want you to do it free. Or they want you to bring the audience. They want you to do all the work it takes to get the audience there, which is not our job. We're performers. That's our job, but it's changed. You have to be good with the business. You gotta do the business side of it, or you're not going to have the support, especially in Chicago. I love performing, honestly, in New York City and Washington D.C.
Yeah,
because they respect the artist. They would never ask you to do anything for free. They pay the artists. They pay the bands. The audiences love the music. They sit there. They listen. They're into it. They're respectful. In Chicago, you be performing for a bunch of people having conversations about her hair or their shoes or whatever, and they just don't have, the respect for the artistry. And I mean, like I said, I love Chicago. I respect Chicago's history when it comes to music, but it's hard to be a singer there.
Wow.
It really is.
Well, that's just truth.
If I get a tour going ever, although I never really wanted to do that, but I figured if I put some music out there and does okay, I might have to do a small tour. I would never do. That was another reason why didn't want to do it, is because I like home too much. I like being home, and if you want to make money as a performer, you have to perform live and tour. You have to. And so oftentimes you're on a bus or you're traveling hotel to hotel, and it's a lot. And a lot of people love that lifestyle. I don't.
Mm.
I'm a home girl.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I don't think I would like that either.
Mm-hmm.
What have you learned from the directors that you've worked with throughout your career? Since you've been in so many films, what have you learned from them?
Well, they taught me. Like I said, I was a theater person, so I didn't really have a clue about the technical side of making movies. Making movies and television, it is more of a director editor thing than the actors. The actors literally, and this has happened to me multiple times. I'll do one thing
Mm-hmm.
and expect something, and then watch the movie and see something totally different, because they can pick and they can edit and do all this stuff. They can create a performance that they want that is completely different than what you want or what you thought, because that's where the movie is made. The movie is made in editing. So there are tricks, there are things to learn, and it's very important to be tech savvy when it comes to being an actor in movies, because money is time. It costs a lot of money to shoot these things. So if you don't know what they mean when they say get on your mark,
Mm-hmm.
or you don't know what they mean when they say find your light, or if you are whispering, or there's just all these things, or you don't know what your frame is. There's just jargon that I learned over the years from all these different directors to help me be better. And honestly, I got to the point where I was good enough so that I can do my performance in such a way so that they almost have to use the performance that I gave them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I learned how to do that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a growth from the beginning. I remember my first time when I auditioned with Spike, I had never auditioned for a movie before. I'd had a commercial class. So I did the audition as if I was auditioning for commercial. For commercials, you look right at the camera. You look at the camera, you're talking to the camera, blah, blah, blah. You never do that in movies, and except for unless that's a part of a gag or something.
Okay.
You don't look at the camera. So he was like, okay, that was really good. Now, can you do it again? And don't look at the camera. Look at me. I was like, oops. And then I had another director. I can't remember his name. He was one of the best, and I can't believe I can't remember his name, but I'm getting old. But
you've done so much.
I have. But he was really amazing, this guy. And all actors have tricks or habits that they don't know they have. Things like Denzel's used to be this. He would always take his two fingers over his lips.
Kind of rubbing it.
Yep. If you watch any of his early movies,
I'm gonna have to watch them.
Yeah, he used to do that all the time. Well, for me, I used to blink my eyes. My eyes would be like going a million miles a minute when I would be nervous about lines or whatever. And I had no idea that I was doing that. And this director, Bob Rafelson.
Remember
Bob Rafelson. And he was like, Cinda, I can tell when you're not solid on your lines. I can tell because your eyes start blinking. You have to control that because your eyes are already huge. And yeah, he said, your eyes are so big. And with the camera, especially when it's a close up on your face, those eyelashes blinking are really distracting. And you have to fix that. So it was a habit I had to fix. I was talking to my daughter. My daughter's in acting school right now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she's in an acting school. It's AMDA, in New York for another few more months before she moves to LA and finishes her last 2 years there.
Good.
But she just found out a new trick of hers. Hampton's is such a great school, and she learned that, you know, she's from the Midwest, and one of the things that we do in the Midwest is when we're speaking, we lose beginnings and ends of sentences. We cut them off. And they kept, she said every class they were telling her that she did it, and she didn't know that she did it. I was like, you need to film yourself so you can watch yourself and see what you do. And I was like, that's a regional thing. That's a Midwest thing. So you can't do that as an actress. So she's been working on that.
Oh, good for her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. I know you're proud of her.
I am.
Let me see. The other question I have. So, have you ever been a director at all?
Only theater. I haven't directed any film or anything. I've been asked over and over and over again to do it. I'm such a perfectionist. I'm like, why would I direct without actual training? And I know actors do it all the time.
Right.
Because you do learn while you're doing it. You learn. Yeah. But the only thing I would ever really direct, I think, is my own stuff. I've written a lot, and I'm hoping that I will be able to produce some of this stuff, because some of it I wrote for myself. I'm too old to do. So I might at least co-direct it or just work with wonderful tech people so that they got that side covered, and I can deal with the actors and the mood and the way it looks and all that kind of stuff. So I might end up doing it, but I haven't as of yet.
I can see you doing it, but have you ever produced? Have you ever been a producer? Do you have producing credits?
Well, a lot of actors have producing credits because your name lends weight to a project.
Yeah.
So oftentimes you don't do anything. I have my name as producer on quite a few things, but lately, over the last several years, I have actually been participating in the production, the early development of screenplays, because I write, and so I'll work that way. And I got a call today from somebody saying, "Can you be a producer?" I'm like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" And they said, "Well, then your name and do help with some of the writing." So, yeah, I did this little short piece with a friend of mine in Chicago, Seven, who did a beautiful little movie called The Sisterhood of Signatures. And I helped her on, because she'd never done a movie, but she wanted to. I was like, I'll help you the best I can. So I helped her with the script on that, and she would call me for certain guidance and stuff like that. So I got producer credit for that.
Good. The next question kind of has to do with the pandemic. You know, I can't have a conversation without mentioning it. So I want you to talk about it. How did you start doing radio, and you don't blog, and podcasting?
That's how, because of COVID. I was so excited when, before COVID hit, I literally, I think I had 10 projects lined up. 10. Movies, television, concerts. I had a screenplay that was getting ready to get produced.
Oh.
I was like, this is it. I'm back.
Yes.
You know, my daughter's going off to school. She went to college. All that went away. I mean, some of it I ended up doing, but a lot of it, a lot of people, productions never recovered, especially independent films, because now, because of COVID, you have to have COVID monitors. You have to do, and it's a lot of money. You have to pay. Yeah, you got to have COVID monitors, people that are on the set, making sure everyone's keeping their distance and wearing their masks and checking their temperatures. And they have to pay, the production has to pay for all of that. So it's like outrageously expensive. And so some films didn't rebound. Anyway, here I am, happy in a way, because I'm like, oh, I can sit down for a minute. Because I'm tired, you know what I'm saying? I'm really tired. I can't believe that happened. I was mad, like really angry for about 2 days. And I was like, oh, but what's meant to be is meant to be.
All right, take advantage of it.
And I was like trying to figure out what I was going to do, because I said, I'm doing something. I'm not going to just sit here. And I was talking to my cousin. I have a cousin. And, we've been close for a very long time. And she was like, she's on my mom's side. She was my white cousin. And she's like, girl, why don't you podcast? I'm like, podcast, girl? Black people don't listen to that mess. And I listen to podcasts. I'm talking about the real classic podcasting. It's all audio. Ain't no voice. You don't see nobody.
Oh, it's all audio, like the old radio. Like
real podcasting.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. She goes, you can teach them to like it. I was like, okay, well, you're challenging me. So, okay, I'm going to try it. So I started doing and right after that, I saw some about free podcasts, whatever, this app to help you set up your podcast. And I started doing it and I loved it.
Really?
Yes. I still do it. My original idea for Pink Panty Confessions was I wanted to do my version of Chicken Soup for the Soul. That's what I wanted to do. So interviewing other people, their confessions, because I believe that talking is healing, getting stuff off your chest. It's healing to share and get it, and you realize you're not alone, whatever. I couldn't get anybody to do that in the beginning. So I just started writing about myself, and that's how the book came about. That's where the blog, the book, all of that came. But now I don't have enough room for all the people I have to interview. And yeah. And at first it was like every other week I would do a solo podcast, because I make them short, because I know Black folks ain't be sitting down for too long. And so I make them short and sweet. So every other week I would interview someone. But then finally, it's like all these guests were coming out of the woodwork. And I was like, okay, I don't have to do me. I'll do my little parts where I talk about what we talked about, and I sum it up. I introduce it, I sum it up, whatever. And then someone contacted me about being on a radio show. They said, we'll barter. Can you be a co-host and I'll produce your podcast,
Oh,
so
wow.
So you don't have to use that canned music from the app. You can use your own music, original stuff. And so that's what it did. And then it transformed into, so I'm on that morning the Melanated Morning Show, which is kind of like a hot topics, a lot of politics, conversations, whatever. And, we've had a lot to talk about. So I do that a couple of times on Wednesdays and Thursdays on the Grown Folks Radio. And then I started my own PPC radio show. So the podcast introduces the person basically, and then they come on the radio show, and I have a co-host for that. And I have the first hour, it's just the guest and the co-host and I talking about whatever they talk about. Then the second hour, we're bringing on either a spiritual leader or a therapist or something like that. Now we've kind of like settled on a therapist we really love, so she's with us most of the time. So it's really healing 2 hours of time. And I always knew that that's what I wanted to end up doing, because I come from the church, I come from service, and I knew all this was going to lead somehow, give me a platform so I could actually communicate and help people. Like I said, I'm a therapist. I was called to set shrink. So that is my biggest destiny right now, is helping people that way. And I'll keep acting and singing because I love it and it's therapeutic, but it also continues to up my name value so that more people will come to the shows.
I love that spirit of service. I think that's beautiful. You have done so much. You've morphed and you've reinvented yourself into, think about it, from a vocalist to an actress to a producer. What about your book? Didn't you write a book?
I did. I wrote a book. It's called Pink Panty Confessions. It's on Amazon or wherever books are sold. You can still get it. It's helped a lot of people, That was the most I didn't expect. When I put that out there, I just was like, I'm not trying to make no money. If people read it, they read it. If it helps somebody, it does. It helps a lot of people, and that it was such a blessing for me. I have to finish the second one. I almost finished. I do have a new book coming out. What's it called? Failure, Success. Oh my gosh, Faith and Failure. It was with Glenn Murray.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in that anthology. So that's coming out this, I guess, early summer. And that I share some really intense, hardcore stuff
Ooh.
that happened to me. It's a hard story. It was a hard story to write, and it was a hard story to tell. It has to do with mental disorders and stuff like that. That's something I went through.
Mhm.
And I think people are going to be blessed by it. So,
Oh, I'm gonna have to grab that.
yeah, it's gonna be good. I think there's 4 other writers, so it's 5 writers on it.
Okay. Wow. Well, as our time winds up, I want to thank you so much for being on. But I know everybody wants to know, and I want to know, you had 10 projects going into the pandemic, then the pandemic hit. So what's next for Cinda Williams? I know you probably have multiple projects, but what's next for you?
I do. Yeah,
multiple.
I do. Yeah, I have. I'm connected to projects left and right when it comes to acting. So I do have that. I am working on music. I'm actually singing in a couple of movies coming out.
Oh, good.
One that I was in, one that I'm not in, one from Philadelphia. Well, you're not Philadelphia. One of the movies from Philadelphia. I'm really excited about that project because I'll be in the likes of, Patti LaBelle and, the big Jill Scott, they're going to be on that album. Or whatever it's called. I'm so old, album. So I've got that, and movies. I have multiple movies coming out this year. So, go to Facebook, Cinda Williams or Cinda Will, or my fan page, and I'm always putting out what I'm doing, or you can always come and listen to me on the radio and hear what's up, because I'm always sharing there. So I'm really enjoying this talk with you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. You've always been, I've been watching you forever, and I am just honored to finally meet you. Thank you so much. I really do want to be in an audience when you're singing, though. So if you're ever in the area, even if you're not in the area and I can get there, please let me know, because I definitely want to hear you sing and hear how you've changed in those 20 plus years. So thank you again. I know the audience thanks you. You were just a joy and a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Take care of yourself. And when you're doing something else, I'm going to have you come back on and talk about your new projects, because I know you have like 10 of them probably lined up and you're not telling us. But that's okay. That's okay. We love surprises.
All right. Thank you so much.
Take care of yourself. Bye-bye. And to the listening audience, wow, I finally got a chance to meet Cinda Williams. Thank you so much, Glenn. She was just such a joy, and there were just so many little nuggets that she gave, and being one who's into theater and somewhat into film, I could relate to a lot that she was saying. And as a vocalist, oh my gosh, I was just really excited to talk to her. And I want to thank all my listening audience, and I want to thank you for continually, listening and tuning into the Voices of Change. I know you have a lot of things to do on Sundays, but thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. You guys be blessed and have a great week. Take care.